Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. It's going to be a fantastic morning with my friend Orly Zeewy this morning. You've got to tune in and tell your friends that we're on. There's going to be an amazing, amazing conversation this morning. So tag all your friends, let them know. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, the Hounds of Business Community, Liz Lawless, the Alzheimer's Association, and the Master Connector Show. For more information on the Hounds of Business and how to get a hold of Mike Ashabrenner and become part of the Hounds, go to Hounds of Business Community on LinkedIn. And for more information on Liz Lawless and her amazing author adventure, go to lizlawless.com. And for more information on how to support the Alzheimer's Association in their fight against Alzheimer's, you can go to alz.org to give today. And finally, the Master Connector Show. Amazing show on Wednesdays. Go to masterconnector.show for more information. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. I'm so glad you're here today. You know what? We are having a few issues this morning on Facebook for some reason. So as I am greeting you this morning and producing the show all at the same time, I am trying to get that all working. So if you normally watch on Facebook, obviously you're not able to do that right now, but we're going to make sure you can here very shortly. So thank you again for being here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're back to Pacific Standard Time, and we are so thankful. And hopefully now we should be broadcasting on Facebook. There we go. So anyway, we are here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific. And after that, if you just don't have time to make it live, it sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever, Facebook for 30 days, and you can watch it to your heart's content. That is why you should join our YouTube page, which would be a blessing to me, by going to marketingwithruss.live today, because all of these great, amazing live streams are there, and you can pick those up at any time. And we're still, looks like, having troubles on Facebook. I'm not sure. Obviously, Facebook is having an issue this morning, so I don't know. You know what? This is when it's live. You just go with the flow. That's all good. But you know what? Watch on LinkedIn and YouTube if you're having issues this morning. And please subscribe to our YouTube page. That would be so, so great. I am so thankful that not only can you watch this, but we also convert it to audio podcasts. So you can listen on Apple Podcasts, or you can listen on Spotify. So if you're busy and you can't watch, but you can listen while you're getting ready for work, while you're jogging, while whatever you're doing, would love it for you to pick that up. And whatever medium you watch us or listen to us on, please give us a like and talk to us, engage, say hi. We would love for you to do that. We appreciate everybody engaging. So it's so awesome. Also, we have so many things going on, but you can see behind me, just released my new book, Life Happens and Then You Choose. You know, behind me, you used to see Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, which is still available, by the way, at russhedge.com or on Amazon, which is where they all are. I'm going to put up russhedge.com there. There we go. And yeah, it's still having issues with Facebook today. So please pass on the word. I appreciate that. But anyway, so russedge.com will now bounce you directly to Amazon with a pop-up that'll take you to Life Happens and Then You Choose. So excited about my new book. I am so excited. It has just been a blessing for me to write. God has definitely instilled in me a confidence, a life perspective that through all the things that I've had to deal with cancer and many other situations, God has helped me keep a good perspective. And I hope this will encourage and inspire you. I really do. I believe it's going to encourage and inspire thousands of people. And so please pick up your copy today. It's still available on ebook at only $2.99. So if you go to russedge.com, it'll bounce you there to Amazon. You can pick up the ebook for only $2.99, or you can get the paperback or hardback if you're a regular book person, which I am. And so, yeah, there you go. You get all that. Again, thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube at marketingwithruss.live is how you get there. You can do that right now. Open a separate tab and subscribe today. Also, please share this and tag your friends. I would really appreciate that. You know, we're all about connection and community building here. I am a firm believer that that connection and community building is the foundation for any good business, any good life. So that's why we talk to amazing people that are great at connecting, no matter what industry or what part of life they're in. And Orly is one of those today, definitely. Very excited for that. Also, remember, I love to connect. So not only can you get the book information at russhedge.com, but you get all the information about me and connect to me anyway. Any social media, my email, my phone number. You can even schedule time directly on my calendar to Zoom with me. I'd love to do that if we haven't had a chance to so far. And so thank you for that. All right. And want to remind you that, let me see here if I can pull this up while I'm moving on the go. Here we go. Yes, we are so thankful for our sponsors, but are also listener supported. You can scan this QR code and you can go to the link in the comments. We could not do this without you. We could not do this without our amazing sponsors, Hounds of Business, Liz Lawless, the Alzheimer's Association, and the Master Connector Show. We would not be able to do this and keep broadcasting without your help. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your help. Okay, so last thing we're going to do before we get Orly in today, and that is our marketing tip of the day. I do this little snippet every Monday and Thursday. It gets cut out separately, put on YouTube Shorts, put on social media all by itself. So you can just share the marketing tip of the day or go back and watch it again if it helps encourage you. And I think it will. So today I'm going to do our marketing tip of the day. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Don't give up. That's it. Simple as that. Don't give up. You know what? So many people get into situations and projects with their business and their life, and before they really see results, they give up. You know what? You need to be persistent. You need to intentionally stay focused on what's ahead. Take one step at a time. You know, it's as simple as that. It seems like it's so hard because you're true. It's not easy. It is not easy, but it is a simple process of simply taking one step at a time, moving forward. Don't give up. Keep moving. Keep your eyes focused on the goal and what's ahead of you. And I guarantee you, you will see amazing results when you do that, when you hang in there. You know, there's so many people over history that have had amazing things, like Thomas Edison. He failed 1,000 times before he created the light bulb, but he didn't give up. So today, don't give up. Keep moving forward one step at a time. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. So that's your marketing tip today. And hopefully that encouraged, inspired you today. Let's get Orly in the room and get things started. Morning, Orly.
Good morning, Russ. How's it going?
I am so good. It is so good to see you again.
Same here. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yes, I am too. And it was such a blessing, the conversation we had before. And so I would love for just to dive in from the very beginning. Who in the world is Orly and what are you up to? Give everybody a little snippet.
Oh, well, thanks for that. So, um, as you can see, my name is Orly Zeewy, and I'm an author, a speaker, and a facilitator of light bulb moments. And I'm the author of the book, Ready Launch Brand, the Lead Marketing Guide for Startups. My new book, Why Not Me? The Female Guide for Entrepreneurship, will be published next year. I like to say that I have one superpower, Russ, and that is I make fuzzy clear. And that's because, when you're a small business, and because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and small to medium sized businesses, it's really hard to stand out because we are being messaged by tens of thousands of daily marketing messages. And honestly, we are overwhelmed by the sheer number of information, and our brain simply can't handle it. And so, what I focus on really is helping my clients make fuzzy clear so they can stand out, cut through the noise, and go from invisible to memorable.
Well, and that is so critical nowadays because, it is sometimes so tough for people to cut through the noise and be noticed and be seen. And, there is so much noise in life in my first book. And that's amazing that, you're an author and a speaker and we have so much in common. And I love that. I talked about fighting through the noise of life. And it is a struggle for so many people because they don't know where to go sometimes. They'll try to be somebody else and try to put things up like someone else, which usually doesn't work. You got to have your own uniqueness that stands out because the X factor in my book is you. That's what's different. You are different, and that's what needs to stand out there. And that's why I love things like this. They elevate visibility and show people off in what they're doing. So somebody calls you and they say, Orly, I am so confused. I mean, there's so much noise. I don't know how to stand out. Where do you start?
That's a great question. So, the beginning is really who are you? And specifically, what is your superpower? What's your zone of genius? A lot of time people don't even recognize that that's a superpower. And because I work with a lot of women founders, one of the things I know is really a challenge for women is realizing not only what their superpower is, but the value that it provides, which then leads directly to how much we charge for providing that value. So understanding who you are, standing in your superpower, that's the first step. Then the next step is really you need to understand who needs it, because the truth is everyone is not your client. Everyone does not need yeah, of course, I can make fuzzy clear for lots of different organizations and people, and we need a lot of clarity right now, that's for sure. But the reality is that you have a specific client base that you need to focus on, because the goal of any good elevator pitch, which is kind of the next step, is you need to explain to somebody in less than 10 seconds what you do, who it benefits, and ultimately what is the transformation that you provide. Because that's why we want to work with you, not because of your degrees or certifications or all the books you've written or what have you. It's because you are providing something that is helping someone else do something better. And I think that the key is really not to focus on the how and the what, but on the why. Why do people work with you? What is the transformation they get as a result?
Yeah, well, I love that because you do have to understand yourself. And my 5 steps to connection, one of the first steps is to actually connect to yourself because you need to know what you're all about. Like you said, what your superpowers are, what you really are trying to do. That helps you determine who you're trying to connect with. And there's so many people that are busy trying to connect with the wrong group of people as well, which like you said, which is so critical. And I think that, in today's market, I think a lot of times people just get off track in what they're doing, right? and they get busy doing things in the wrong way. But anytime that you can do things and be clear, clarity was the other thing you talked about. When you're given that, I mean, people lose focus so fast. When you're given that elevator pitch or you're letting people know what you do, you got to catch their attention immediately. I don't know. They say something like 7 seconds people have to catch their attention. I think it's like 3. I think if you don't immediately grab their attention, you've lost them.
Well, and the problem is that people try to grab their attention with the wrong information. They
Right.
immediately, because this is what happens when you haven't done the work to really understand who you are and what your value is and how you help your ideal client. All you have left is what you do and how you do it. Nobody cares about any of those things because that's about you, and people want to know how you help them. And so, there's that a quote, nobody cares. People don't care about you until they know you care about them, right? It's like you have to show that you get the problem that your ideal client is dealing with. And back to what you were saying about our attention span, in 2000, which is when I started my consulting practice in 2000 or early 2000s, the average adult's attention span was 12 seconds. Today, it's 8 seconds and less. I think around 6. It depends on what you're talking about. Like in an elevator pitch, I think you're right. You have about 6 seconds. When you're on the top of someone's LinkedIn profile, you have roughly 5 to 7 seconds. When you are on somebody's homepage, you have 6 seconds before that person makes a go, no go decision, which is why you want to be crystal clear and cut through all that noise and focus on the things that matters to them. And on your homepage, there are only 2 questions you have to answer. Why am I here? And why should I care?
That is perfect. Why am I here and why should I care? And I love your quote by John Maxwell. I use it all the time. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
I love that. It is so true because if you don't care about them, it is like gone like that. I mean, you could be putting out stuff all day long. And if they think, you know what, never does anything for me, doesn't care about me, they're just going to,
Well, what happens, Russ, is that the reason they think that is because you haven't first made it clear that you get the problem they're dealing with. So
right.
so in my consulting practice, my process really starts with not just understanding who you are, what your superpower is, but what is your ideal client actually struggling with? And I don't mean every single thing that they have, but the thing that actually is aligned with what you provide and the kind of your superpower. Because if you can connect those two and then communicate them clearly within, that only takes a few seconds. Because the other thing that I want to mention is that a lot of people mistake an elevator pitch for a sales pitch. And so when you start to talk about what you do and how you do it, that's a sales pitch. And the reality is, elevator pitch is just the start of a conversation. You're not selling anything. All you're doing is you are piquing somebody's curiosity enough so that they will say to you, tell me more.
Yeah. Well, that is exactly. And so I was thinking about that this whole time, and that is connection with people and community really makes all the difference in the world. And that's why I'm a huge fan of building community and doing things first. I teach a whole workshop on how to turn cold calling into making friends. And the way you do that is by number one, going out, really truly connecting with people. And by doing that, you're learning about them. You're listening to them. You're finding out what their problems are. You're understanding what they're all about. So then when it comes time to actually working together, it is just like so easy because people then want to work with you. People like to work with people they know, like, and trust. Old adage, but it's so true, right? When they know and like you, they want to work with you. They want to, once they trust you, they want to work with you. And so it makes life so much better, but you've got to have those building blocks of connection. It's a long haul. It's not an overnight success with that, but you got to stay with that. But in the short term, got to be listening is something I always talk about too. So you understand the things you were talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think of it as, kind of intellectual curiosity, if you will, right? You're not trying to change somebody's mind, right? What you're doing is first you show that you actually understand the problem they're dealing with.
Right.
So, for me, I know my clients struggle with cutting through the noise. They struggle with feeling like they are invisible. And that is because they don't get the kinds of connection requests on LinkedIn that are the ones they want. Their web visitors are not converting into potential prospects, potential clients. No one's reaching out to them. What that tells me is that you haven't connected right from the get-go with something that actually piques their interest enough so that they want to keep clicking on your website and keep scrolling on your LinkedIn profile. Because the more you scroll, the more you click, the more you engage, the more likely you are to reach out. And again, it's not about selling. And I think that's been a big shift, especially I would say in the last 10 to 15 years. Nobody, it's like that old adage, everybody wants to buy, but nobody wants to be sold. People don't want to feel like you are doing the hard sell right from the
Right.
get-go, right? When I land on your homepage, I don't want to hear all about your products and I want to sign up for your newsletter. I don't want to be doing all this. I just want to know, why am I here and why should I care?
Right. Exactly. And I love that. Why am I here and why should I care? I love that because it is so true. If you're not solving the problem and helping that person, you're not giving them any value. Why should they care? Why should they be interested? And that is so, so true. And the bottom line is too, another thing that I teach is exactly what you said in my workshop, How to Turn Cold Calling into Making Friends. And that is, don't go in with the intention to sell. Go in with the intention to connect and build community, to make a friend, to really get on, be able to have a conversation with them and show them you care about them so that they'll care about you. And that is what is so important in the whole process, because the selling and all of that will actually take care of itself if you're doing the right steps up first. I truly believe that. And
also,
that's why I love what you're all about. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. No, I was just going to say that it's also about listening, and there's empathic listening. It's not just waiting until you can jump in like I just did, but really listening with the intent of understanding. And people can tell the difference when you're just listening, waiting for you to jump in with something you want to sell them, versus actually paying attention. And a lot of times, like when I have conversations with people, we're not always a good fit for each other. But if I'm really paying attention and listening to what their actual problem is, I can say, you know what, I'm not the right person for you, but I have somebody I think you should talk to. That's part of that whole like and trust, like and trust piece, because
Yes.
it feels, first of all, it's genuine, and it doesn't feel like you're trying to, pressure someone. You're literally, you want to help them. Like, that's the conversations you should be having, coming into it, always thinking, how can I help you? And if I'm not the right person, who can I connect you to?
I've always felt like that's one of the greatest things, Orly, and that is if you can help them get to the right person to bless them and solve their problem, they have just as much respect and wanting to be somehow connected and do business with you in the future because you've helped them so much. I call it the Santa Claus effect. Have you seen Miracle on 34th Street? Where was Santa Claus sending everybody? When people came into Macy's and Macy's did not have the right toy that they really wanted, he would send the parents to other stores and give them the information of what to buy, what they wanted. And what that ended up doing for Macy's is elevating them greatly. And everybody was said, I'll always be a Macy's shopper. We love Macy's because they care about people. And so I love that. That's a lesson from that movie, which is a great old movie. We're getting close to Christmas time, so I'm thinking Christmas movies here. The other thing that you said that I love, man, you and I are just like completely on the same wavelength, because I also use a quote in my workshop that says, people are always spending time listening to reply instead of listening to understand. And so that's exactly what you were talking about, listening to understand and find out what the person really needs and what they want, as opposed to listening just to jump back in, right?
Exactly. And it's interesting. So I've been trained in design thinking, and I've actually led design thinking workshops. And, that's why empathic listening is the first step to design thinking, because if you don't really listen to understand, then how do you solve someone's problem? You need to actually understand what the problem is. And then, the other piece is, this is where I think things, the wheels fall off the bus, as it were, when you don't connect what you hear with what you communicate. And the communication piece is where most people really fall off, because they don't know how to say those things that, I hear that all the time from people that I talk to. I don't know how to say what I do so that my ideal prospects will understand it, get it, value it, and want to talk to me, right? And again, it's because it's not about trying to sell them. It's about showing them that not only do you get what they're struggling with, you have a solution for it, but the more important thing is that you actually connect with that person where they are in that moment, right? And you really are trying to help them see that problem through to the solution.
Yeah, that is so good. That is so good. Okay. So I could keep talking with you all day long, but we have to wrap things up because the show's coming to an end. So what I would like you to tell us is your gold nugget of the day. What do you really, really want people to remember from today's conversation? And then let us know how we get in touch with you.
Right. So, I think the goal for me is, cutting through the noise is not about being louder. It's about being clearer. And so to connect with me, would love for people to connect with me on LinkedIn. My website is zeewybrands.com. You can find my book, Ready Launch Brand, the Lean Marketing Guide for Startups, on Amazon. And also when you go to my website, you'll see I actually run a monthly Clarity Hour Q&A. And the next session is November 19th. Would love to see people. I'd love to see people there. So thank you so much.
Well, I want to tell you, I appreciate you so much. So what a great approach. I am on board with you 100%. Want to tell you that I would have it on the screen, but it's definitely in the comments and in the show notes, how to connect with you. Some reason StreamYard and LinkedIn are not liking each other at the moment. And so anyway, but we have all of Orly's connection information in the comments and in the show notes. And so make sure you click on that because it's clickable, everybody. You can click and go straight to Orly. And again, listen to what she's talking about. Listen to what she's talking about when it comes to clarity and understanding. And wait, miracle, it showed up. There we go. There it is.
I'm seeing it right now. It's like, oh, the miracle of technology when it works.
Oh, it's crazy. That's it. When it works, it's an amazing thing. We can't live without it and we can't live with it. So, but love it. And you know what? That's what we do. I want to thank you though so much. And here's the information one more time. And I really, really recommend everybody reach out and connect with Orly. I know there's a ton of people that watch on replay. Please share this out with your friends. Please let them know what's going on because people get busy and you can have opportunities to watch on replay, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Everybody share this out and let people know. And with that, Orly, I'm going to say goodbye to you on screen, but hang tight for just a minute in the green room. All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Russ. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Been a blessing and be with you. Wow. I tell you, Orly is awesome. You guys need to connect with her today. So thankful. There was a bunch of comments and stuff that I wasn't able to get up today, but so thankful that you guys are here and sharing. And you know what? Live technology. We love it. We just roll with it, right? Don't forget, today still you can get my book, Life Happens and Then You Choose, for only $2.99 on ebook. It's also available in paperback and hardback. Don't forget that. Would love for you to pick up a copy. We'd be so thankful and grateful if you did. Looking for reviews on Amazon too. Thank you for that. Just appreciate everybody. What a blessing this community is. I do appreciate you guys and all that you've done. This book has been a blessing to me to write, and I know it's going to inspire you. Through challenges of life, you can keep moving. Life happens every day, but you get to choose where you go from there. with that, just want to thank you all again. I want to put up this one more time, thanking our amazing sponsors again today. And I'm going to take down there we go. So you can see that. Hounds of Business, Liz Lawless, my publisher, Alzheimer's Association, and Master Connector Show, which is a great show. Also, want to remind you that we're listener supported. So if you get a chance, we'd love you to scan this or go to the link in the comments. Thank you for that, helping us continue to broadcast. And with that, we're going to say goodbye for another week. Have a blessed and awesome week. We'll see you again soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.